Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sara Jones. This is our last episode for Season 1. For the finale episode, I got to hang out with the very funny Kyle Kinane in West Hollywood, California. Kyle is a comedian from the Chicago area and has been the voice of Comedy Central since 2011. His first Comedy Central Presents half-hour special was released in February of that year. He has appeared in multiple Comedy Central programs, including Drunk History, where he drunkenly retold the story of the Haymarket Affair. He's won the game show At Midnight 7 times and played a part on the 2014 animated series Trip Tank. Kyle has appeared in multiple film and television roles, including Funny People, Bob's Burgers, Adventure Time, and the Netflix hit Love, among others. Kinane has released multiple stand-up comedy albums, including Death of the Party, Whiskey Icarus, I Liked His Old Stuff Better, and Loose in Chicago. He also has his own spooky comedy podcast called The Boogie Monster, along with fellow comedian Dave Stone, where they discuss some creepy stuff. If you like this show, you'll love theirs. You're going to want to check it out if you haven't already. You can catch Kyle Kinane wrapping up his Shooting for Third tour right now. He'll be coming to 3 more cities in Florida, Brooklyn, New York, and Chicago in November. Make sure you catch this guy live. Kyle and I visited the Comedy Store in Hollywood one afternoon. Many people don't know that the basement of the Comedy Store is supposed to be very haunted. We were brought down to a small room that used to be a torture room, we'll get into that, but now serves as storage. There were no lights in this little room crammed full of storage, so I used my little flashlight to read my notes. The guy who brought us into the room showed us some furniture crammed in the corner covered in plastic and told us we could just pull the plastic up and sit there for the recording. He then casually mentioned that this furniture used to belong to 1930s starlet Mae West. Now that you can visualize where we're sitting, join us while we discuss the haunted history of the Comedy Store. All right. So we are in the basement of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
We're in a tiny room filled with storage, and we're actually sitting on Mae West's furniture.
Yeah, I like that that was just a side note. Oh, by the way, this is also Mae West Furniture's in here.
Yeah, we just didn't know where to put it.
In addition to some old Pauly Shore billboards. Here's 30s movie starlets Mae West's Furniture.
Yeah.
A lovely pink couch, kind of under plastic, but not.
Yeah.
They're not trying hard to keep it nice.
No, it's pretty, it was nice. I'll take it.
And also from when? From the 30s, or was it from like...
Well, when did she die? If she was a 30s
1980.
movie star.
She died in 1980. Looks
probably
like it's
from
some
then.
late 70s action here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we're on Mae West Furniture.
Yeah, in the storage room of the Comedy Store basement. Before I get started on the story, I'm going to get into my sources really quick. So I used hauntedhouses.com, theculturetrip.com, a blog called Seeks Ghosts, tastecaliforniatravel.com, the Comedy Store website, LA Weekly, thecomicscomic.com, Los Angeles Times, and Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia.
Oh, good old Wikipedia. So yeah, we're at the Comedy Store in West Hollywood, California on Sunset Boulevard. The Comedy Store was opened by comedians Sammy Shore and Rudy DeLuca in 1972. Before it was the Comedy Store, this building was a popular upscale nightclub called Ciro's. and for a short time was a rock and roll venue where the Byrds were discovered in 1964. It's a little
I didn't know
fact.
that part.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Byrds played here.
Yeah, it was a little rock and roll venue for like a year, and then it became the Comedy Store. One of my sources said that this building used to be a club called Club Seville, but I looked into it and it was right down the street. But Club Seville was a nightclub in the 1920s that had a room known as the Marine Room. This is just a fun fact that I decided to include. Which had a crystal glass dance floor surrounded by fountains, and fish could swim beneath your feet while you danced there. All topped off with colorful lights.
Oh, that's a good... I mean, I don't know how sturdy. That's probably before, like, building code. That's got to be some real code violations having a... dancing on top of a fish tank.
But it sounds like it would be fucking awesome. But actually, yeah, the club only lasted for a year because they had two common complaints. One was...
so many drowning dancers.
Well, the fear that the glass floor might break, which I get. But the other was the fact that women didn't like the idea... This is right in the 1920s, right? So women didn't like the idea of fish looking up their dresses. Which I desperately hope is not true.
These were valid complaints in the 1920s.
That was
but it might
dumbest
happen.
shit I've ever heard.
It might happen.
Just me too. The fishes are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That interspecies sexuality that fish just exude. You've been to an aquarium? Perverts. Those big eyes looking all over the place. Come on.
As big as the mouth, just like mouthing shit out.
On either side of their heads that are just checking out everybody all at once.
They're disgusting.
Yeah.
They're disgusting. Marine life is just filthy.
Perverts.
So when this location reopened as the Comedy Store, there was a small 99-seat theater. That's upstairs. In 1973, Sammy's ex-wife, Mitzi Shore, was left to operate the club as a result of a divorce settlement. Later, she was able to buy the building and expand it to include a much larger 450-seat main room. She also converted the smaller upstairs section of the Comedy Store into the belly room, in which she exclusively booked female comics at a time when they often could not find a venue to perform. I wrote, the belly room is now the location where Tony Hinchcliffe records his popular podcast, Kill Tony, which I just learned.
You just got corrected on.
Yeah, he actually records it in the main room now, and he's 2 doors down from us right now recording a podcast about wrestling.
Yeah, we're technically in the podcast studio part of the Comedy Store.
We are, yeah.
We're in the storage room next to the podcast studio.
They put us aside into the
you guys
non-network.
sit in the closet. You guys go in the closet.
Yeah. What's your show? Never heard of it. You can have this.
Don't worry about it.
Sure, this is the torture room. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mitzi is the one... Oh, wait, what?
Well, that's what we have to get into. You're going to get into that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't want to, spill the beans just
I'm no,
yet.
I didn't include that.
Well, I didn't want to spill the beans preemptively.
No, they're intrigued.
Sarah, but wait, there's all this stuff about this room. Oh, never mind.
Who's Mitzi?
You're doing the background. You guys are setting it up. You're building it up.
That's right, I'm building it up. So, Mitzi is the one who named the club the Comedy Store. The store opened right as... What?
So, it's the store. I always joke when I'm playing here. I'm like, I'll be merchandise at the Comedy Store tonight. Come check me out in the display case at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, they buy your time, basically.
Well, there's the Laugh Factory down the street, and there's the Comedy Store here. So it's manufacturer and vendor all on the same street.
There you go, perfect.
That's an old industry, John. That's an inside bit. That's just an inside bit.
Well, now we're all on the inside.
See, now we know where I'm coming from.
All the tens of people listening to this episode are now on the inside. So this store opened right as Johnny Carson moved his show out west, bringing a horde of talented comics out with him, hoping for a chance on his show. This worked to the Comedy Store's benefit as they were able to host some of the brightest rising stars trying out their new acts. It didn't hurt that Mitzi had a special way of being able to spot raw talent and helping to nurture that talent into stardom. Mitzi wanted to cultivate a family environment at the Comedy Store. She didn't want it to just be a club. She wanted it to be an artist's colony where serious performers could hone their comic craft, then pay it forward by mentoring newer comics that follow them. Did you know Mitzi?
No, I didn't.
No.
I mean, I know, obviously know
who she is.
Of her and who she is, yeah, but I never knew her personally.
Yeah. So Mitzi was a legend. She was born in Menominee, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula.
Youpers.
On July 25th of 1930. Youper. Uh-huh. Mitzi grew up near Green Bay, Wisconsin. For a brief time, she studied art at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And sadly, Mitzi passed away earlier this year on April 11th of 2018 from Parkinson's disease. She was 87. Called the godmother of stand-up comedy, Mitzi kept a sign in her office that read, "It's a sin to encourage mediocre talent." Okay, so I do a little tribute, obviously. But in 1979, comedians went on strike here to demand pay for their stand-up sets.
It's also a sin to pay comedians.
Yeah, well, is that where you biting your tongue on that one? And then I dive right into it.
Respect for the dead here.
Yeah. It goes both ways, actually, because several famous comedians formed a union called Comedians for Compensation, including Jay Leno and David Letterman. Mitzi's point of view was that the Comedy Store was a kind of showcase and training ground for comics to try out material and possibly get discovered by casting agents and talent scouts that might come see their set. After the strike, some comedians were no longer allowed to perform at the Comedy Store. One of these comedians was Steve Lubetkin. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Lubetkin. In response to being banned from performing here, Steve committed suicide by jumping from the roof of the hotel next door called the Continental Hyatt House.
Yeah, the Riot House.
It was called the Riot House?
That's where all the bands stayed back in the day.
Really? I didn't know that.
It was a big party hotel back in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
In his suicide note, he wrote, "My name is Steve Lubetkin. I used to work at the Comedy Store." He blamed Mitzi for no longer having a job. His body was found steps away from the entryway.
I mean, there's other places to play.
That's true. I know. There's that...
Comedians aren't the most stable bunch.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. But also just like, putting it on someone else like that, that's a lot.
He wanted to land on the Comedy Store. But
yeah, he aimed for it.
Still couldn't make it on the stage. All right. I put my hand up to indicate it was a joke, but nobody can see that on a podcast.
He was dead serious.
Oh, see,
no
zing, zang, zoom.
Oh, God. Anyway, so that happened. The union fell apart within a year, but eventually comedians did start to see compensation for their stand-up sets, including at the Comedy Store. After Lubetkin's death, Mitzi began inviting comedians to stay at her house behind the Comedy Store, known as the Crest Hill House. Have you been there?
No.
Oh. I think there was like a period of time where that was like the party house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, throughout the 80s. Mm-hmm. I know the stories. I'm not cool enough to be part of this.
It's okay. Someday.
Yeah.
Someday. For about a decade, comics inhabited the home, including Jim Carrey, Mark Maron, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, and Bill Hicks. Comic and regular partygoers at the Crest Hill House, or one of the comics that would stay there, Alan Steven, recalls that if the Comedy Store was a sort of comedy college meant to train up rising talent, Crest Hill was the frat house.
Yeah.
Mark Maron, who lived there in a small room for 8 months, described his time living in Crest Hill as, quote, "a big, dark baptism."
Everything's a baptism with that guy.
Is it?
He always goes religious.
I don't fully know what he means by that, but I like it.
Yeah, he always goes with the religious connotation.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm buying it.
I don't know what happened to him up there.
Nobody does.
But a dark baptism. It's some heavy
fucking
verbiage.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are, of course, countless notable alumni who have performed at the Comedy Store. Really, anyone who's anyone has performed here, including Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Louis Anderson, John Belushi, Whoopi Goldberg, Bette Midler, Joe Rogan, plenty others. When Liza Minnelli, the daughter of Judy Garland, who famously played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, married Jack Haley Jr., the son of Jack Haley, who played the Tin Man, they held their wedding reception here. I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know the daughter of Dorothy married the daughter of the Tin Man.
I didn't know that was the connection either.
Yeah. They were married for 5 years. She's had 4 spouses. 3 of them have died of natural causes.
Well, but I mean, was she marrying older guys? Was she marrying up?
I don't know.
Or,
I didn't look into that.
That's when it was Ciro's, right?
I think everything said Ciro's on it, but I think it had actually become the Comedy Stores.
The dishes are behind us. The original Ciro's dishes are
Yeah, they literally just told us,
behind us.
We have crates of dishes. I kind of want to take a plate just to have one.
They just bring the curse with you.
Yeah, I just want to bring as many curses with me.
Bringing the curse with you if you believe in that kind of thing.
But yeah, they said the last time these plates were even used was Liza Minnelli's wedding.
Really?
Would have been her 3rd out of 4 weddings.
When was that? When was that wedding?
The 80s?
Oh, well then it was the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I think it was the Comedy Store, but everything said Ciro. When I looked it up, it said everything said Ciro's on it.
Maybe that's just the plates they had.
Maybe, yeah. Or she wanted that vibe.
Put out the nice dishes.
Yeah,
we're having a wedding. Put out the nice plates.
They look like the dishes from like a 24-hour diner.
They do. They're kind of like a brown and white Denny's, kind of sturdy flatware.
Very sturdy. They got their non-fat instant dry milk up here.
Also from that period in time. Yeah, Carnation instant dry milk.
It's been fortified with vitamins A and D.
This powdered milk is from Liza Minnelli's wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Only the finest carnation powdered milk.
People love powdered milk, but Hollywood in the 80s, a weird time. A lot of powdered milk.
No, that was Coke.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, so into the awesome part of this building. In the late 30s, this building was run by William Wilkerson, who opened it up as a ritzy nightclub for Hollywood's rich and famous called Ciro's. From 1870 to as late as 1984, the Sunset Strip was actually not under the jurisdiction of the city of Los Angeles and became a hotspot for illegal activity, including prostitution, gambling, and alcohol when it was banned during Prohibition.
All right.
Yeah, it was the perfect spot for a nightclub that could provide all 3. The mafia was heavily involved in many businesses on the Strip, and Ciro's was no exception. Wilkerson owned several bars and clubs on the Strip and was likely involved with a man named Mickey Cohen, a mobster known as an underworld boss and the king of the Sunset Strip.
Yeah, he put this town together.
You know about him?
Oh, yeah.
Cohen was my flashlights.
Haunted flashlight. Haunted flashlight going out.
There we go. I take the curse with me.
Mickey Cohen don't want you talking about him.
He's like, enough. Cohen was the successor to infamous mobster Bubsy Siegel. Siegel.
Did you say Bubsy?
Bugsy. I said, okay. You're right, I did say Bubsy.
Bubsy is so adorable. And super
like
dangerous. Not that Bugsy isn't also
really cute.
But we've accepted it. But if you accidentally called him Bubsy to his face.
Hi, Bubsy.
You must be Bubsy. I'm sorry, is it Bugsy? And then you're dead.
It's some dumb fucking name.
Yeah, then you cut your throat.
I remember what it was. Yeah.
Bubsy Spiegels.
Is it Seagull? Bugsy Seagull?
Yeah.
Or Seagull.
Seagull, yeah.
So I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so Mickey Cohen was the successor to Bugsy, or Bubsy, whatever you want to call him. He's dead now, so Who gives a shit?
Don't curse us. I'm not going down. You can speak ill of the dead, and it's on you. I'm not getting taken out by these demons down here.
Okay.
We're in the room where they torture people.
They don't know that. Okay, so Mickey Cohen ran a brothel right next door to Ciro's. Cohen demanded a cut from the club's profits, a cost many business owners on the Strip paid to be allowed to stay in business and, frankly, to stay alive. It's rumored that peepholes and handgun stations used by Cohen's men during what was known as the Sunset Wars can still be found here. Do you know about the Sunset Wars?
No.
The Sunset Wars was a bloody fight for mobster turf dominance in 1947.
Ooh.
So it would have been just right down this street. Being the mob, sometimes there was what may politely be referred to as unpleasant business that needed to be taken care of. That's where Ciro's came in.
Like what? Cleaning bathrooms?
That's exactly it. These dark deeds were taken care of right here in the basement of Ciro's. And not just in the basement, but in the actual room that we're sitting in. Which is rad.
This is it. This is the one.
This is the
finessing room.
The basement included a killing and torture room for those who couldn't pay their gambling debts, who flirted with the wrong waitress or showgirl, or otherwise offended the mob in some way. This is the one.
It's always in some way. There's never clear rules with the mob.
Maybe just the wrong look.
I don't like that you're wearing a black belt with brown shoes.
Just generally don't like that guy.
I'm going to pull your teeth out.
Get a weird vibe.
Yeah, there's no like hard and fast. He talks about like, there's rules and there's respect and it was all. It's like, no, they kind of just would beat you up if they wanted to.
Right, absolutely.
I'd cut your ear off.
The executioner would break legs and kneecaps and would try to be creative, finding just the right custom way to torture and kill someone who had dared to cross Mickey Cohen.
Oh, personal touch.
In this room.
Meant they really listened. They really paid attention to who you were.
I tried to look up mob torture like techniques because I'm fucked up. And but I couldn't tell if it would have been this mob or like different mobs that use their own. I mean, there's the cement boots. You heard about that one?
Yes, we swim with the fishes. Sleeping with the fishes, not swimming. You're not swimming anywhere. You sleep
can't swim. Yeah, that's the one. I read something about a guy who used a drill, but I don't think that would have been this mob. It would have been. Who knows?
I mean, everything is. Putting stuff under the fingernails.
That one.
That seemed like more of a wartime kind of thing.
Yeah, but honestly, mob torturing, when you look back to like medieval torture, it's like nothing.
Doesn't compare. Like medieval is worse.
Oh my God, yeah.
When I was a kid, I went to Europe with my family on a family vacation. We're in Germany. Like, we're going to go to the torture museum. I'm like 8 years old. And it wasn't like how it's novelty, and it was strictly educational and terrifying. It wasn't like cheeky, like, let's take the edge off so families can enjoy it. It's like, oh, this is an Iron Maiden. This is basically an upright casket with spikes that they'd put people in. Yeah. This is a wagon wheel. Oh, wagons are fun. No, they would mash somebody's bones.
The ones that they would tighten the sides of them until they're broken?
No, this was like they would just break all your bones and weave you into the spokes of the wagon wheel and put you on a post. And I'm just 8 years old, like, what the fuck is this? This is what happened. And at the same time, you're going to like Sunday school and being raised Catholic. Like, this is what people did if they thought you didn't believe in God. Like, I guess I believe in God because I don't want to be stuck in a box full of spikes or drawn and quartered. Or having a guillotine, or having had, my mom explained what a chastity belt is to me. I'm like, what's this weird metal underpants? Like, no, this is so women. But I'm like, oh.
I didn't know they really used chastity belts. I thought that was like a...
No, actual metal underpants.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah, with locks on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as just breaking somebody's kneecaps, you can be a little more creative, but you're just trying to get an answer. You're not putting them on display for the town square.
That's true. Exactly.
There's a lot more pageantry back in the day. It took more pride in their work.
Yeah, exactly. It was a simpler time.
People are getting sick of putting the mushy bodies in between the wagon wheel spokes. We got to come up with a new gag.
Yeah.
It's like a band putting out a new album.
Just put their fucking heads on the post.
What about heads on spikes? Nah, there's a guy. There's already a guy over in Lithuania doing that. We need a new angle. We need something fresh.
Of Vlad the Impaler? Because he wouldn't just do heads. He would literally impale their whole bodies through their asshole and they'd die from exposure. They wouldn't actually die from bleeding out because it would like collect around that one. Like if you get stabbed by something on accident, you're supposed to cover the wound. You're not supposed to take the thing out.
Oh, because it keeps it all together.
Exactly. So those people would be impaled and then they would just die from exposure. Like over a long amount of time.
Oh.
Yeah.
And why did he do that?
Because he was just fucking horrible.
But he was creative, is what I'm saying. He came up with a new thing.
Exactly.
People need to be scared of me. He can't copy somebody.
No.
He wants brand new fear out of people.
Yeah, and now Dracula's a thing. So
put him on spikes,
legend.
Yeah. He didn't even do any of the Dracula shit. He just put people on spikes. Like, let's make up a bunch of other stuff about him because this guy's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the mob was still terrifying, but it's just, They could have been a
But
little
they
more.
hid the bodies
They
like
hid 'em.
under the floor.
In the ocean.
Right here. They said they're on this floor.
Yeah, literally. They buried him in the floor. And they even confirmed that the cement is newer than the building. So probably below us are a lot of bodies.
At least a couple.
At least like a handful. They also ran an illegitimate abortion clinic. I thought it was down here. Again, I was corrected. Apparently it was in the belly room.
I like that you put illegitimate. Like it was totally above board.
It was legit.
Running an abortion clinic out of a restaurant. Had all the paperwork, had all the permits.
Yeah, definitely had all the permits. It was a real nurse. But it's for prostitutes and girlfriends of mobsters who likely had little choice in the matter. It's rumored that the bodies of those killed down here were buried here as well. That's where it's actually in my notes.
Oh,
Aside from
dead baby bones.
tons of dead babies.
So
Probably
many
a lot of them didn't have bones yet. Like if you
dead
just
babies.
like timeline. Aside from the obvious dangers of having a procedure like
Little
this
gum
carried
babies.
out in an unsterile environment, the nurse on Mickey's payroll responsible for the abortions was described as having, quote, questionable skill.
Well,
Sadly,
can't believe they didn't get a pro.
yeah. Well,
Coat hanger out all these jelly babies in the attic of this restaurant. Can't believe they didn't get
just an illegitimate coat
a real RN up there.
One woman died from her procedure here, sadly. In response, the nurse was publicly humiliated, though I don't know how. I just read that she was publicly humiliated, and was murdered, likely by the dead woman's boyfriend. So the nurse was killed in here, too.
Oh, they off the nurse.
She was
just trying to do the right thing.
Skill. Yeah. There are many accounts of paranormal activity present here, and many explanations for who might be here and why. There have often been reports of odd noises from the basement. Some believe it's haunted by Cohen's victims that were tortured here, and perhaps even haunted by the unborn, which creeps me out more than anything.
Oh, just little gummy babies running around.
Pissed.
Why would you haunt a place? If you were tortured, why would you want to, like, hang out there? Like,
I've
here's
heard-
the worst memory of my life.
Well, I wonder if it's not like trauma. Like, PTSD, like you can't stop thinking about that thing even if you want to.
They don't know they're dead type scenario?
Maybe. Like they're locked in it because of the trauma, or I don't know. Or they're just still angry for some reason. Maybe they don't have a choice. I have no idea. I don't know the rules.
Stuck in the basement of the Comedy Store. That's too much comedy.
Just
Eventually you want to break.
humorless.
Oh, I've heard this joke 1,000 times.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Actually, I'll get to it, but there are some spirits that got pretty pissed off at a comic on one of them.
I want to hear about that. I want to know what to avoid.
We'll get to it. It's also rumored that the spirit of mobsters, including that of Mickey Cohen himself, still haunt this place, sharing the same camaraderie in death that they had in life. One of these mobsters might be an unofficial club enforcer that the staff call Gus. He can be seen in the back of the club wearing a black dress suit and fedora, eyeing the crowd and watching the staff work. We should ask them about Gus.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, right. They said there's a tunnel right here that went to a
house
across Sunset where the House of Blues used to be.
Yeah.
That's walled off.
Yeah.
So that makes sense if they were doing the torture stuff down here and then they would just take
funnel the bodies.
Yeah, take all the riffraff out there.
I wonder if they're finding any like skeletons when
If they're digging up over by. Oh shit.
Are they actually working today? I'm like, you guys see anything crazy?
Guys dig up any creepy shit? Huh?
It's we're authorized. Where's your permit?
Yeah. You show me yours. What's going on over here? Gonna do like an Ocean's 11, like dress like the gas company. Like, you guys don't have the right permits. I need you out of here. And then you do your own little scam.
We'll find all these skulls. We'll put them on a Ciro's plate and just make a little memorial.
Oh, I wonder if they really are.
They might be digging up bodies.
That was just where they
there.
got them out of there and then dumped them in the ocean, but they didn't have to take them out through where like people were hanging out at the restaurant here. Because he said there was a house over there, right?
Yeah.
That's what was connected to.
Where the House of Blues was.
Yeah.
But if they were what if they were burying some bodies here and this ran out of space and started burying them under the House of Blues?
That's what I mean. They just got overwhelmed.
Too many dead babies.
Too much surplus. Pull out a little bit, mobsters. We don't have to go through all this. Come on.
There is one nasty, negative, and aggressive spirit often felt in the basement who seems to still want to hurt the living and often scares employees. Once at 3 a.m., 2 staff members heard a low, guttural growl coming from the basement. When they went to investigate, they found the padlocked gate in front of the basement bending out as though something was pushing them from the inside trying to escape. Where's the padlocked gate? Do you see that when we came down here?
I didn't see it.
We'll have to
It
look
might
when we
be
walk
from...
out.
That's the growling.
The guttural
low growl. That's what I would hear when I would get sleep paralysis.
Really?
I would
that
hear a
demon
growl
in your room?
I would hear a growl like that, and that was always like, oh shit.
It's happening.
God damn, I hate that sound.
Suddenly, the gate snapped back into place, and there before them, they saw an enormous, 7-foot-tall, black, faceless entity standing in front of them. They said the menacing figure radiated evil and malevolence. They ran away up the stairs and out of the building as fast as they could. Later, they returned to the basement to see if it was still there. When they looked within, they watched again as the figure formed in the corner of the room, like a demon. Mm-hmm. One of those staff members was actor and comedian Blake Clark, who worked as the doorman and security here.
Yeah.
You know him?
Well, I know who he is, yeah.
Yeah. The last time Blake ever went down into the basement, a strange piece of black cardboard fell from nowhere, hitting his hand. He bent down to pick it up, and when he turned it over, he saw his name was scrawled on it. He now refuses to ever return to the basement.
I mean, it is also a place filled with people who are pranksters for a living and do drugs all the time.
That's true.
Just putting that in. I just want to put that in there.
Absolutely true. Yeah.
Grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Just put all the facts in consideration.
Yes.
But also still, God damn it, though, we're in the torture room.
Ghosts aside, knowing that real evil happened right here and the bodies are probably right below us is fucking crazy. Bodies in cement is the thing, because it's like you're not going to dig that up. Is there a body?
No, I'm just looking at Mae West's furniture. She got one of them floor globes.
Okay, I'm going to need that.
Sorry.
Put that on the plane.
I don't know if that translates. You know, one of them floor globes?
This was Mae West's.
This is Mae West's floor globe. It has its own ticket.
They don't need their therapy dog. We need the space.
No, I need to see where we're going on the globe. That's how I travel.
This is the only way I travel.
Point out where we're going on this globe, please. I don't understand.
It needs to be Mae West
I'm illiterate.
globe.
I need you to point out the location on the globe.
Not just any globe. There is a female entity here that many believe to be the spirit of the woman who died from her abortion. Sometimes she can be seen enjoying memories in the showrooms and watching new talent perform, but she can also be heard moaning and crying from the basement, reliving her pain. It's believed that Steve Lubetkin's spirit still lingers here too, though he does not seem to be as sad or bitter as one might imagine, which is comforting. It's said that Steve likes to hang out and watch new comedians perform, and also likes to play silly and harmless pranks on employees just to let them know he's around. A number of shadow figures seem to enjoy watching comics perform here. This is the one.
All right.
Sam Kinison once performed in the original showroom and had a creepy encounter while preparing for his set. He was practicing his comic routine, which involved his voice getting progressively louder. A staff member heard a low buzz of voices, which also seemed to get louder and louder along with the comic. When Sam reached his trademark scream, the voices were clearly and angrily chanting, "It's him, it's him, it's him." Sam said the ghosts seemed to be trying to persuade him from performing, messing with the lights and the sound system. Finally, Sam demanded the ghosts show themselves. In response, all the lights went out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Do you know who that is, Sam Kinison?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So they didn't like him, I guess.
Well, and he's got a religious background.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a preacher.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen his, like, stand-up comedy, like, but...
It's very loud. Maybe the ghost just didn't want to hear the...
I think they just got annoyed.
The screaming. They're like, use your words, man.
Come
on.
Enough.
Yeah. You don't have to scream. Use your words to get the point across.
We're trying to rest in peace.
Yeah. Resting. We're resting.
We're resting. One night while locking up, Blake Clark also witnessed a chair slide 20 feet across the main stage all by himself.
Well, I've been thinking of Lenny Clark this whole time, so never mind.
Oh, Blake Clark. Oh, yeah.
Know who Blake Clark is.
If you looked up his picture, you'd be like, oh, yeah, he was in, like, The Waterboy, 50 First Dates. If you look up his picture, you'd be like, oh, I've seen that guy. I'm looking
it up right now.
Blake Clark.
No, it is the same guy I'm thinking of. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Waitresses who set the tables for performances would come back to find everything off the tables, though neatly folded and stacked on the floor. One time, Blake and another comedian who also worked here, named Joey Gaynor, were closing up the main room. After they left the room briefly, they returned to find 10 chairs stacked in the middle of the room.
These ghosts love fucking with chairs.
They love, yeah. Joey, feeling bold, challenged the spirit, demanding it show itself. They both watched as an ashtray lifted slowly in the air from a table, then violently whipped itself in the direction of Joey's head. Oh. He ducked just in time, and the ashtray hit the wall behind him. A lot of these experiences are from Blake Clark. So he might just be full of shit, or he's just very connected. Or is he the
antenna? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have a more sensitive antenna than other people?
He might. Because he had another experience here once while playing a video game in a room near the kitchen. Having that eerily familiar feeling of someone watching him, Blake turned to see a man dressed in a World War II brown leather bomber jacket standing about 3 feet behind him. He opened his mouth to speak to him, but realized he could faintly see through him, then watched him vanish. And that's actually when I saw a ghost, it was the same thing. You could, like, faintly see through them.
A little translucent.
A little bit. Not, like, completely. It's like you kind of realize, like, oh, wait, I can kind of see the dresser behind you. That same afternoon, an assistant named Debbie saw the same man in the bomber jacket in a third-floor office, crouching in a corner and looking terrified. He faded before her eyes, too. It's believed that the man was killed in an office by an associate of Mickey Cohen. So I have one more.
They don't know who he is?
No.
He's like a war hero?
Well, they just think he was some dude that was killed, probably in that same time period.
Oh, okay.
Wearing his...
40, yeah, okay, sure. Post-World War II.
One employee claimed to hear loud banging coming from the belly room late one night. Afraid someone might be locked in, desperately trying to get someone's attention, the staff member hurried to the room and walked inside, where, of course, he found no one. And it was banging on a piano. Sorry.
Restaurants and nightclubs, like when you're there, when they're not operating, that's some of the creepy, because they don't have the lights on to make it look fun. Like a bar with just service lights on. Oh, it's one of the scariest places. It's
scary, and it's less like... It's more just like your living room. It's like less exciting. It's kind of just
well, you also think about how it's like when you're there and it's filled with fun and music and people talking, when you're there without any of that happening, it's such an eerie feeling. Oh, this is supposed to be a good time spot, and it's just this silent bar
Quiet.
With a little bit of daylight creeping in. Oh.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, so
I've worked at a lot of bars.
So I can see why that feels like extra spooky. When somebody's in there like, nobody's here yet, I'm lonely. Let me throw an ashtray at your head.
Well, that, or for this one, it was like the piano banging upstairs. Like he thought someone is like trying to get out and trying to get attention. Well, I mean, I guess they were trying to get attention, but it was no one living.
Damn ghosts and their attention.
So for a couple years, the Comedy Store hosted a walking tour called Haunted Midnights, where they invited guests to explore the sordid past and learn about the hauntings that were experienced here. I guess they don't do that anymore, but sounds like your sister would have been all about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've talked to other comics who were just, nope. It was always like the kitchen, they said, was the scary place.
the kitchen.
Stuff they heard in the kitchen was like up the stairs and just to the left there. That's where they always kind of, I mean, and that's where people would be hanging out after shows, I guess. They're drinking and everything. So,
and they would just, what, like
it was just everybody getting that vibe that you're being watched and the doors slamming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm upset that I haven't had anything happen. Oh. I don't think I got the sensitivity for it. I wish I did, but I think ghosts are like, not him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that it's like when you least expect it. That's what everybody says.
Yeah, you can't be looking for it.
You can't want it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real watched pot never boils situation. Like, oh, come on, ghosts. Come
Although
on.
that would be fucking awesome if one of these things just like, if you got your moment here.
And it's what do you interpret as like a gust of wind, a smell, like you were saying. They always discredit the orbs when people take pictures. And there's orbs. It's like, yeah, it's just dust in the lens.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories. So I do on this show. I have mini-sodes. People call in and tell me their ghost stories.
Yeah.
And I've heard multiple stories of people seeing orbs, not in a photo, but like physically seeing
naked
them.
eye, sure.
Yeah, that's different.
Like,
Look at that half a mannequin behind you. That's kind of creepy.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. It's just the ass end of a mannequin pointing at me.
I should probably take a little bit of pictures of this room for the Instagrams. I mean, it's not as exciting, but...
I mean, it's a lot of storage.
There's a lot of storage.
But that's like you think you could spend the night down here? I
think I could, but I'm staying at a haunted hotel right now, and I'm thrilled about it.
You're already into it.
Yeah.
This was...
We gotta get the plates.
Get them plates. Get them Ciro's plates.
I'll take pictures on the outside.
I wonder, how much we could see where this tunnel would be.
There's too much stuff. It'd be so cool if we could actually go through the tunnel, though.
I mean, you can see the boards up there, right? Yeah, you see the boards there. But also, it could be like how in New York they would have the service. They would load, like restaurants and stuff would get all the stuff brought in from the sidewalk down into the basement where all the prep work would happen.
Oh, really? So they didn't have to go outside, or?
Yeah, so just like all the kitchen, everything's downstairs. They just load all the supplies into the basement. But that's why we got when we walk out of here, try and estimate where it is, see if the sidewalk looks different out there. But I just like haunting a comedy club. I don't even like playing at comedy clubs when I'm there for 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
To imagine you're just there.
All the time.
I don't know, maybe it's all right. Maybe you're seeing,
There's definitely worse places to haunt. Like the morgue or the mall. Do
you think morgues are haunted, though? Because the people are already dead when they get there.
I know. I've heard stories about morgues being haunted, and I always think that, too. It just makes no sense. It's not where you died.
Yeah.
Unless something fucked up happened to your body.
Maybe, but my thing was always hospitals should be scarier than cemeteries. Because cemeteries, it's already just a dead person. If a soul or a ghost or a spirit was gonna, exist, it would exist. I think if you leave your body in a moment of trauma, and again, like your soul or whatever, or the energy that the electrical synapses that make your mind run. Even if that's what a ghost is. It's just that energy. You are creating electrical energy within your own system. And energy can't be created or destroyed.
Yeah.
So it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe the idea that it goes into decomposition. Your energy goes into the worms.
Yeah.
Goes into the air when you rigor mortis. That's one theory.
Yeah.
Or it's like when you die immediately, it's like, oh, it's stuck. Like, oh, I didn't know. I'm dead. I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
It's like Ghost. He didn't know he was dead for a little while.
That creeps me out. The idea that a spirit doesn't know it's dead and is maybe kind of annoyed by the living being in its space.
Which, why if you're a ghost, you become dumber? You don't know you're dead?
I mean, I'm pretty unaware most of the time.
How is this legal that you're just moving in my apartment when I clearly still live here? You wouldn't put 2 and 2 together like, oh, I might be a ghost.
I don't know, maybe it's hard to believe. If you found out that you're a ghost, what if you are a ghost right now?
Well, then that's pretty
What if
meta
you've
that we're going to do a
been dead?
podcast about ghosts. Who's listening to a podcast about
What if-
ghosts?
What
Other
if
ghosts?
this podcast reached out to you because someone needs to let you know?
It's like This American Life, but it's This American Afterlife.
Yeah.
Come on!
This American
See,
Death.
That's pretty good, yeah. It's just like, all right, so you're dead, I'm dead. Let's get into it. Let's have a chit-chat.
You know what? Who cares?
I have been pretty, have had an utter lack of concern for what's going on in the real world. Maybe I am a ghost at this point. I'm like, yeah, whatever, we're all going to die. Who cares?
That's exactly
See
how
y'all
I feel.
soon.
Yeah.
I'm not having kids. Let it burn.
Nope.
Whatever.
I don't give a shit about anything.
Not trying to make it worse, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Nope.
not getting upset about it not getting
and
better.
I'm not supporting it either.
Yeah.
But I'm
yeah.
also just like, oh shit, that's happening too? Okay.
Gonna have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Not here
I
for,
just am
not
just
here
trying
for
to
a long
drink.
time, here for a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. I think that's the way to do it. It's a lot more liberating to just not give a fuck anymore.
What if there's still like, do people still gamble that like have to get their knees broken for gambling debts?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there are still circles that you don't want to run with. Or you do, I don't know. I'm not judging.
No, I never got into that.
No.
Gambling, that kind of criminal activity. I definitely, some comedy club owners were clearly like, I think it's an easy way to launder money is to have a comedy club.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, this many people came here and bought this many drinks. You can't prove that, but you have your book that says, yeah, we made that much money, and then filtered it through.
Mm-hmm. A lot of bars are like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the seedier.
Yeah, so it's easy to do. So there's definitely a little bit of a underworld to, like, not all of them, but some of them definitely have, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm clearly where like, yeah, here you go, you made a bunch this week. I'm like, how can you afford to pay me? You know what, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to not bring up how you can afford it, but just say thank you.
Right.
And be on your way.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe get 1 or 2 stern warnings before you're like, got
Something
it.
about gift horses and mouths, I think, is the phrase. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always like I think comedy has never been on the up and up on the business side. There's always kind of like
No.
navigating the...
In fact, I was surprised you were so
intricacies.
early to meet me today. That never happens.
Oh, I was in bad shape. I went out last. I just had other stuff to do, and that's why I was like, oh, I'm already going to be in West Hollywood. Yeah, but no, 2:30 wouldn't have been my... I had a rough night.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to
being
hear.
in comedy.
Well, thank you for coming out anyway.
Absolutely. We can talk about ghosts and guys. I've never been to
Fuck
this
yeah.
part of the Comedy Store.
I don't think anyone's been to this part.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, I didn't even know there was a downstairs. I didn't know they had a podcast studio there. I heard the stories about Ciro's.
Yeah.
You know, about it being a mob spot back in the day, and you could watch all the movies about Mickey Cohen running the town.
Uh-huh.
So.
But to be in the actual torture room, that's pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, I bet they didn't call it that.
Well, I'm sure. What were you calling it? The Italian
Oh, the Italian massage parlor.
massage parlor? Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get the tension out of you and some answers.
I almost said the Italian dressing room.
Yeah.
That's definitely what it was.
Italian dressing room is funny for a couple reasons, just because of Italian dressing.
Yeah.
But then like there's light coming in from over there, so I don't know what is above
It doesn't look
us.
like it's like outside light. That looks like it's.
There's light coming from back there, so there's something on the other side
Well,
of the
there's
Ciro's
the
thing.
room on the other. That's the staircase that we came. Right? No, the staircase is on the other side.
No, we came in across there.
Well, we'll see it when we come out. What if we went to open this door and it was just locked?
Now you guys are a part of the legend.
Yeah. Some like mobster comes in and is just like, you want to see what we did?
Yeah. Or are you still around? They still make you guys?
Yeah.
They still make you kind of old-timey Italians?
Oh, they definitely do.
I just like the randomly placed Mae West's furniture.
Yeah.
We were told that Mitzi Shore saw it come up for sale, and she's like, yeah, I'll take it. And just bought Mae West's furniture and has it stashed down here. So,
in a room that literally no one's been in for years except for
honestly,
us.
if there's a listener that's looking to buy some, historical movie celebrity furniture, I bet you could make an offer and they'd be happy to get it.
Oh, yeah. I bet you could get it cheap, actually.
That's a nice kind of fuchsia couch with a floral pattern. I see some
I want
signs of
this
wear
one.
and tear.
This is like the U-shaped,
Well,
what is this,
U-shaped love
velvet?
seat with
Red
With a
velvet?
maroon velvet. Mae West, I mean, it's got an old Hollywood charm to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what else is in there, though. Mannequin bits. Mannequin parts are always in. This is the bottom half, too.
That's
Like,
right.
if you're selling a t-shirt, you don't need the ass end of it.
Mannequins are always the creepiest thing. I can't believe how often they come up in different places for me.
Well, yeah, a human-sized model. Yeah, that's always
Human-shaped plastic.
I've bought, I'm trying to do a long story short, but they used to have like full-size, they weren't blow-up dolls, they were like stuffed guys. I think it was like
Stuffed
a bachelor.
with what?
I like a stuffed animal, but it was shaped like a
Okay.
man, and I bought one off this dude in a van one day because my roommate was out of town. I'm like, oh, I'll scare him, and I bought this thing and I put him in my roommate's bed. I bought it off a guy that was in a van, and
Yeah.
he's like, you want to buy this? I'm like, all right.
How much did you pay for it?
Like, whatever change I had left over. I remember buying cigarettes, and I'm like, I only got this. He's like, I'll take it. And I just walked down the street with this full-size stuffed guy. But then my roommate wasn't home for a couple days, and I proceeded to smoke a bunch of pot and get real paranoid that I bought some sort of cursed living doll. And so I was laying in bed and knowing this thing was in my roommate's bed the whole time. And then he came home, and I was so excited for him to get scared. And he just looks at his room. He's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, all right, so much for the scare. But we named the guy Terrifying Randy, and we kept him on our living room chair for a couple years after that.
Where is he now?
We lost him in the move.
You did? I wish you
Yeah.
would have gotten in a van and sold it to some random
I mean, it
lost
seems like,
teenager.
maybe I broke the cycle of the curse, or I incurred the curse by not, paying it, like not moving it off
paying
of
it
me.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta like it follows kind
It's
of.
like your Annabelle.
Yeah, I didn't move it on to somebody else. Or it's still there.
It
It's in
can't
that
be
apartment.
destroyed. It has to still be there.
It showed up in the landfill scaring the shit out of somebody, maybe.
What if you went into that museum of death and you just saw it in there?
That fucking
It
place.
was like Terrifying Randy.
If whatever folklore they have about it. Like, that's not true. Just sat in our living room for 2 years. It wasn't part of any of that. He had little shorts on that said the words lovable huggables on them, which I thought.
That's how he came?
Yeah, he was just nude except for some shorts. I don't know if it's clearly a novelty item, but, you know, could service
Right.
for companionship. Not
Yes.
a fully functioning sexual item, but you just want a man in your bed, or just an individual. You know what I'm saying? You just
Sure.
want someone next to you
Yeah.
for those lonelier nights. Old Terrifying Randy was there for you.
Good man.
Old dirty living in a van, Terrifying Randy.
$5 and change in the gum wrapper.
Actually, I remember the guy's like, can you believe somebody was going to throw this out? I'm like, absolutely. It's garbage. And that means he saw it in the trash and pulled over and took it out to be like, man, I'm going to get some
sell
money
this.
for this. And he did. I bought it.
Yeah.
So,
Wonder where that guy is now.
van guy?
Yeah, it would be amazing if he heard this podcast.
Probably sold a screenplay living in the
That
hills.
was me. Yeah, he's a genius.
It's amazing how many weirdos are like, that guy doesn't have a chance. And you're like, oh, you're a millionaire now. Well, fucking this town is pretty magical in certain
He's
ways.
doing sex magic at the Devil's Gate Dam.
You know,
just connected
if that's what you need to do in life, LA is a great place. You're just trying to get weird, free of judgment.
absolutely.
Los Angeles has that for you.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah. What do you need to do?
Make enough money to move
Pour
here.
goat's blood on your head and dance naked in the moonlight?
Sure.
There's probably, you can get at least a half dozen other people.
It's a meetup group.
Yeah, on Craigslist, there's already like, we're looking for a sixth. We got to do this.
Virgin? No? All right, fine.
You know, we have to do
whatever.
this in multiples of 6. It's the only way we'll summon the
Right.
Dark Lord.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows that.
Yeah, obviously.
We'll meet at 3 a.m. Duh. The witching hour.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be ridiculous.
What did somebody say that was like, why that's the witching hour?
I've heard a lot of reasons why, actually. Like, multiples of 3 are, like, a huge thing with religion, obviously. Like, Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's the Holy Trinity. But then, I don't remember. There's a ton of
There's
reasons.
something with, it was only 'cause I just read about it, and I felt like, oh, I didn't realize it's not midnight, it's actually 3 a.m. Because of
It's supposed
certain
to be
other
like,
things.
well,
yeah.
what I've heard is that's like when the sun is starting to come up. So there's like this magical hour right there or something. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I just
It's
know.
supposed to be like the veil is thinner.
The veil.
All right, well, who's this?
Yeah,
There's a couple portraits
I
of...
wish we were summoning something, but I didn't bring any summoning materials.
I know. I spent the night in a haunted hotel room with a comic like 2 weeks ago. We brought a Ouija board, but by that time we got really belligerent drunk.
Yeah, that's not a good time for this thing's slurring.
We're just sitting there, we're like, do you want to talk to us? I guess doesn't want to talk to us.
The 7 W's in a row is website address.
Just 2 hammered blonde girls like, if there's a spirit here.
That would be great if a ghost just sent you to its website. www. Really? Send me your Facebook page. It's just easy. You're going to get more information that way. This takes too long.
Read my bio.
It's the 21st century. I put it all online. We're not fucking around.
I texted it to both of you.
Yeah, we're not doing around with the plant. What's the little thing called? The Planchard plant? What's the...
yeah, I don't remember. The little sea wayfinder or whatever it is.
Yeah, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'd be humorous. Just go to Facebook.
If there was a ghost there, they totally were like, this is ridiculous.
That's if you're trying to contact like a millennial ghost. Just go to my Snapchat.
Will you just text me?
Yeah, I don't want, this is too much.
You get a text from an unknown number that's like, get out.
I'm all, and then she was all, this is not informative, Ouija board.
You just call, because I can't read. I'm kind of hammered.
Yeah, I took some Xanax.
Yeah, they were not, the ghost was not amused. It did move the thing to yes when we asked if someone was there, and we both kind of looked at each other, and then we're like, what do you want to tell us? And then it didn't.
But all Ouija boards, it's everybody going, I didn't move it. Did you move it? No, you didn't move it. I moved it. I didn't move it. You didn't move it.
I didn't feel like she did.
Yeah, it's still Parker Brothers. Like,
yeah. Well, no, hers was, she handmade it. It was a wooden Ouija board that she made.
Around. Yeah. Who is that? Who is that?
Her name is Wendy Weiss.
Yeah.
She lives in Portland.
That homemade stuff. Then you're dipping into trouble.
Well, that's what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
But we were too annoying.
I want the Hasbro one.
The glow in the dark.
Yeah. Enjoy our other games. Candyland. The game of life.
We got Monopoly set up too if you don't want to.
That's all, yeah. If the spirit doesn't want to play with this.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll let you have the little car.
I don't know if the game of life is a good one for it.
Yeah. You guys just fucking with me? I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Try to poke it. Try to
at least play like MASH or something, like anything.
Scrabble. Nobody likes Scrabble.
Upwards? It's a little more options.
Oh, is that Scrabble where you could build the tiles?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Put them on top.
I get it.
Well, I think we did it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately no contact, but...
No. But this is definitely the torture room.
God damn it, with the torture room shit.
And the bodies below our feet.
Oh,
brand new cement.
Jelly babies.
Jelly babies.
There's a bunch of jelly babies down
They probably didn't have to bury those. They probably just threw those in the trash.
Little gummy kids.
They probably... Don't people like pay to eat that? Oh, just the placenta.
Yeah, I don't think they're buying the whole kid.
No, well, that's a different market.
I want to eat the whole baby.
No.
Give me the whole baby.
It's ridiculous. You just want the placenta.
No, I just want to eat the placenta. So, for my youth.
Yeah, it just makes me, smooths out wrinkles.
Good for my skin.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Good for it?
You want to call it?
Yeah, all right.
All right, let's do it.
I don't know what button to press.
Oh, I can do it. Okay. You just hand it to me. I'll do it.
I was like hoping for like a breeze to move the plastic or something.
I know. But that's the thing.
Something stand up from under the plastic.
Like that black figure popping up.
Oh, God. Like that was something like
Just out of the corner, just billows up. I would literally be sitting here like, fucking awesome. Would you run?
I'm too young.
I'm 28. I'm like, I'm calling it. I don't give a shit.
No. I got like 5 more good years.
We are bummed out we didn't make any contact with any spirits in that room, but we still had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Make sure to subscribe to The Boogie Monster with Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone. I know you'll love it. If you're in Florida, New York, or Illinois, definitely try to get a ticket for Kyle Kinane's Shooting for Third tour. If not, You can find updates and great merch on KyleKinane.com or follow Kyle on Twitter and Instagram with the handle @KyleKinane. That's at KyleKinane. While you're at it, check us out on social media too. You can find us with the handle @LitDarkPodcast. That's at LITDARK Podcast. We have a website and merch too. Our website is litdarkpodcast.com. If you have your own Laughing in the Dark merchandise, send us your selfies. We'd love to put you on the Instagram. Tune in next week on Halloween for our wrap-up episode. I sat down with my manager, Sara Schneider, and my producer, Randall Lawrence, and we answered some frequently asked questions and read some of the more interesting emails that we've received this season from listeners. This has been so much fun. Thank you to all of you for listening this season. We have had a blast and could not believe how much fun this season was. We are really looking forward to season 2. Special thanks for this episode and this entire season goes out to Sara Schneider, my manager, Jonathan Cooper, my graphic designer, Randall Lawrence, my producer, Nick Wilson and Bridge City Media and Design for the amazing work on the merchandise, Dan Stutzman for being you and all you do, Kyle Kinane, my guest for this episode, and as always, a very special thank you to all of you for listening. This has truly been so much fun. I can't wait to explore more spooky spots and hope you will all join me, Sara Jones, on the next season of Laughing in the Dark.